Meanwhile, the Senate has applauded the sack of the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, by President Muhammadu Buhari. According to the lawmakers, the sack vindicates its position on the investigation carried out by its ad hoc committee on the mounting humanitarian crisis in the Northeast. The Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate, in a point of order, raised the matter and said efforts by some Nigerians to drag the name of the Senate in the mud has been defeated.
There has been official confirmation of the appointment of a new secretary to the government of the Federation. And of course, the termination or whatever of the appointment of the former occupier of that office. I find it necessary to say this because when I made the statement that if we religiously keep to the oath of office we have taken and our engagement with the Nigerian public, that those who have tried to bring down the institution of the Senate, God will vindicate us before their eyes. The issues surrounding the termination of the appointment of the former secretary to the government of the Federation emanated from this Senate. Today, we have been vindicated.
In his remarks, the President of the Senate commended President Muhammadu Buhari for heeding to the call of the Senate. He said though it was difficult for Nigerians to believe the position of the Senate in the investigation, he was elated that its position was vindicated by the sack of the former SGF.
I want to commend the government and the president for doing what is right in this matter. And as you said, when it started, it was more blackmail, but the right thing has been done. And we'll continue to vow to our commitment to fight corruption, non-selective. Non-selective, we'll fight any corruption. And we say to the public, to Nigerians, as part of our constitutional responsibility to expose corruption, any cases, any case, any evidence, any information should be brought before the distinguished senators that are here that represent the constituencies. And we assure you that we expose it and we investigate it.
Some members of the House of Representatives also shared their views on the matter.
The Senate report came up about 9 months ago. The presidency report, the panel set up by the president, chaired by the vice president, submitted his report 6 months plus ago. So finally, the president is acting on it. Yes, we can say the pressure by Nigerians has yielded the result, but that is not enough. If it's just to change the SGF, then why are we anti-corruption? We'll just allow every criminal to walk on the street when they are taken up the seat. Why do we even need a presidential panel? If there's an allegation, don't you have investigative agency that saddle the responsibility of investigation? Who has ever enjoyed such panel? So, do we need another panel for prosecution?
I will also commend the president for finally acting. I may be his supporter, his follower for a very long time, and it is because of my conviction that he is a very righteous person, and that is why I have been supporting him all this while. But as a human being, subject to mistake and imperfection, talking about the president now, even his hardest, die-hard supporter is troubled by the speed with which the president sometimes act or react. I take for granted that as a human being, this might be his own limitations, but I think it's a challenge on those of us who are his genuine supporters to be able to tell him that, Mr. President, you only have a 4-year mandate to go back to the people for renewal. And therefore, you don't have the luxury of sitting down, taking time as if issues raised does not matter at all. Well, I commend him. I will also urge that as his supporter, die hard if you want, and as a member of the same party, sharing the same political philosophy, I think the president ought to increase his speed. So I am not recommending for an overdrive.